Hey friends, I'm Jamie Maddox, your wealth embodiment mentor. I teach how you are uniquely designed to attract wealth. In this podcast, I talk about body mapping and money. Body mapping is a unique map on your body that gives information, instructions, and direction for you specifically. Each episode, I highlight one area of the body, discuss its features, and more importantly, what that means for you and your money. So welcome. I'm excited to be on this journey together and can't wait to see what your body can teach you about money. Hello and welcome back. I am so glad you're here. So glad that you guys keep listening, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for all of that. Today, we are talking about our skin. Oh, you guys, this is such a good one. Because let's be honest, our skin is the largest organ of our body. Literally, when you close your eyes, that means your entire body is covered in skin. Crazy, right? It just kind of blows my mind. And when I say it's the largest organ of your body, at first it's kind of like, really? And then it's like, oh, I guess it is, right? And it's the organ that people see the most. But how often do we try to hide our skin, change our skin, do X, Y, or Z to our skin, have this issue, that issue? There's just so much with our skin. But our skin is how the world sees us. It's our self-expression. And it's an indicator of change. Okay, there's so much good stuff. I hardly even know where to start on this one. Okay, but I'm feeling like the very first thing that we need to start with is actually talking about acne. Yes, you're welcome. We're going to be talking about zits. Such a fun topic, I know. But here's the thing, is that whether we're younger and had acne, or maybe we've had it in our adult years, or maybe you have that one place on your skin that breaks out every 5 months, right? Okay, let's give you some context and understanding to help you with acne, whether it's for you, for your kids, for whoever, okay? So to start with, our skin, a lot of times when we have changes with our skin, it's something that is coming up and out, okay? So as we process emotions, that emotional energy has to go somewhere. And that is why a lot of emotions, they say, get stuck in the body because we haven't allowed them to come up and out. So when we start to process these emotions and we start to get better at letting them come up and out, a lot of times we'll actually start having more skin reactions. I don't want to say problems, but problems. Different types of things will happen on our skin. So that is the number one thing. If you are having a skin issue, ask yourself, and I always invite you to look down at your heart when you're asking this. We tend to look at our head, and if you start paying attention, we always tend to look up to our brain. But I want you to physically use your eyes, look down at your heart and say, is this coming up and out? And if it is, beautiful, because you actually want it to come up and out because it's part of the processing process, okay? If it's not coming up and out, then it's more of a current situation, and then that's a different route we take, okay? But let's say with acne. So acne overall is about rage. And, that could bring up some stuff for people. So be really gentle with yourself as you listen to this. Let's talk about blackheads versus whiteheads, okay? Blackheads usually are rage within ourselves. So it's usually our really negative self-talk about ourselves. And so it's like that festering. And think about it, blackheads tend to be a little bit harder to pop or to get out versus whiteheads. Whiteheads are rage about others. And a lot of times this can be from things that people are telling us what we should do or should be, how we should act. A lot of authority issues can come out in acne. And especially if someone has a lot of acne on their cheeks, that really is about wanting to hide and mask themselves And it's really about this anger towards authority, and not just anger, but that rage. And so it is literally coming out, up and out through our skin in the form of acne. So, how do we help this, right? Because, I mean, let's be real, none of us really like acne, right? So, number one, feel the rage, okay? And the thing with emotions is absolutely every emotion is valid and you are allowed to feel it. And you also get to choose how to do it where you are not hurting yourself, others, or property. Okay. So I'm a huge advocate of people feeling rage because, especially in women, it is one of the most suppressed emotions. And so you better believe I have a punching bag in my basement that I invite women over to all the time. And I just put them down there, put on some music, close the door, and they can rage all they want. Because believe me, I've done it a ton of times, okay? So, number one, express the rage. Also, check in with your internal voice with yourself. Also, check in, who are you allowing to be an authority over you? Are they really an authority? Do you want them to be an authority? Should they be an authority? Okay, these are all things that this one simple thing, and regardless of where it is on the body, but it tends to be on our face primarily. But this one simple thing can give us so much information about what we're feeling, what we're hiding from, what we are suppressing. But my friends, feel the rage and let it go. Get it up and out in healthy and supportive ways, and find the support that you need so that you can actually learn how to cultivate the positive self-talk about to yourself, and that you can figure out your authorities, because we are our own personal authorities. And when we reclaim our power, we reclaim our ability to choose, and to choose the life that we desire, and then to create it from there. So let this be an opportunity to really step into who you are seen as, and who you are becoming and being as a beautiful person. When we get stuck in our past, we tend to look older because our skin rejuvenates every 8 weeks. So we can really become a new person every 8 weeks. So especially as you start to age, and maybe you look in the mirror and you're like, oh crap, what happened? Right? I'm looking a little old. Okay. First off, aging is natural. But second off, the more we can heal and release our past, and also lovingly take care of our skin, how it wants to be taken care of, we'll actually look younger, because we are letting things go and we are learning to live in the present. In our present life, when we can learn to live here, we will actually look younger and be more rejuvenated. Isn't that cool? I think it's like so awesome, right? Okay. The more that we are willing to express ourselves, the more clear our skin will stay, because we're getting it out in a different form, so it doesn't actually have to come up and out through our skin. Because our skin is also a protection and a filter. And when our skin feels like we need more protection, it tends to grow moles and freckles. Okay. And again, this is not good or bad. And some of you might be like, I don't need more protection, but I am covered in freckles, right? But there's something within you, and it could be generational. It could be something clear back in your DNA that just exhibited in you, but that there is this thing that it's like, it doesn't feel safe to be fully seen in the world, okay? Because the lighter the skin, the less protection there is. And so you tend to be more seen in an emotional, energetic way. Does that make sense? So that's why you get the darker spots, because it's those areas, and this goes for birthmarks too, because those areas need a little bit more protection, okay? So again, those that have darker skin have more filters. They don't pull in quite as much, so they naturally are already more protected, and it goes back generations, right? And so it's just fascinating, because this is why you can look at a family and be like, they had the same parents. How do they look so different? how does that person tan so easily? That one fries. That one's just naturally dark. Like, right? But it kind of makes sense because depending on what genes and DNA was activated within us and what generational trauma and family patterns were activated within those genes is what's going to show up in your body and show up. And again, this doesn't mean you have to change anything or do anything about it. But what it does say is, oh, hey, that probably means there's something to heal within this. And if you like your freckles, you can keep them. Heal the energy behind them, but you can keep your freckles. Or if you're like, actually, I don't really love my freckles, I'm going to heal it. If they stay, great. If they don't, great. Okay. Make this a fun experiment because the biggest thing is the more you can love your body as it is right now, while also healing the emotions and the energy behind it. And number one, you'll just be happier. Okay, so just do it because it really is worth it. But with that, you're going to love your body either way. And as you heal it, you just get the lighter, the more pure, the more divine energy of those DNA and the genes. And so you can only glow more, which means you'll only fall in love with your body even more. Okay. So so dry skin. This is not being yourself and you're tending to wanting to change yourself to fit in with the crowd, okay? And a lot of times it's you're just kind of shriveling away. Like you literally just don't feel like yourself. You don't feel like you just don't have that vitality of life. And so again, not to shame yourself, but just an awareness, okay, of just being like, okay, where am I not wanting to be myself? Where do I feel like I can't be myself? Okay. People that have more oily skin, this is where you tend to give a lot and you are over giving. Okay. So again, these are just beautiful indicators. So this is actually very ironic, not really, because, this is how it works, but really ironic because I actually tend to have pretty naturally balanced skin. But just the last couple of weeks, my face has been really oily. And I have been like, what in the world is going on? I do not have oily skin. And as I'm sitting here saying this, I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. I have definitely been overgiving the last couple of weeks. And my body has been showing me in multiple ways. Okay, isn't that fascinating? Because it's not the only area of my body that just this last week, I was like, I hear you. I know I'm overgiving. I know. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm really overgiving. I have got to listen to my body if I don't want more uncomfortable symptoms. Okay, because believe me, I am done learning through pain in my body. I am done learning through discomfort, medical issues, all that stuff. I am healing so that I can learn through positive sensations in my body, not the painful ones. Okay. So if you're here, you're joining me on this trip. We are going from less pain to more pleasure senses in our body. And my whole body just got the tingles because our body's going to talk to us either way. We've just conditioned it that we only listen to it when it's in pain. So we get to switch it. And isn't that beautiful that we can retrain ourselves? Okay. Our bodies are always growing and learning. We can always retrain our bodies. Okay. The other thing is, I was talking about protection. This can also go for harsh environments. A lot of times they'll say, oh, so-and-so has thick skin, they can handle a lot, or someone else needs to grow thicker skin, right? Well, our body actually naturally can do this. I mean, just feel around your body and you'll notice some parts of your skin is thicker and tougher and, has different density levels, right? Because it's literally saying, yeah, we need a little more protection in this area of our life. Again, when you look at that part of the body and body mapping, it gives you that next level of understanding of why you maybe feel like you need protection in that area. Okay. So this week, just kind of pay attention to your skin. If it's dry, give it some good moisture, some some really good lotion, not just like the smelly stuff that doesn't actually have the good stuff in it. Get like really like shea butter. That's the only one coconut oil is really good. I'm like, what else is good for your skin? Okay, but find a really nourishing oil or lotion and just lovingly put it on any area of your body that is dry. And just thank your body for continuing to show up and that it's allowed to show up as itself. With the oily, okay, for me this week, I'm going to take a break and I'm not going to give as much. And you know what? This is actually perfect. I am hosting a retreat this week. By the time this airs, I will be back from the retreat, but it's on a beach in Mexico and it is a one-on-one personal VIP retreat. And so I know there will be a lot of downtime and relaxing time. And so even though I'm hosting it, I'm like, okay, this will be a good time for me to step back and reevaluate, where am I giving too much? And then just, if you have acne, just remind yourself that you are allowed to be seen for yourself, that you don't need to take on what other people tell you should or shouldn't be, that any beliefs that you have about yourself can be changed because there is truth within you and there is divinity within you. So start looking at your skin, start noticing your freckles, your moles, and any fluctuations in your skin. And this might have to be a multi-part one because I'm like, oh man, we didn't talk about rashes and we didn't talk about all these different things. So you'll probably get a second part of skin at some point. But here's the thing, when we can't show up in the world as ourselves, how do you think money's going to show up for us? Is it going to be as authentic and real? Is it even going to know how to have a relationship with ourselves if we're over here doing all this crazy stuff, trying to hide from the world, trying to hide from everybody? There's a good chance that money's maybe hiding from us. Okay? So when we get really clear and really step into who we are and who we're meant to be and who we've actually always been, that is when our path becomes a lot more clear and we can actually have the relationships we want. And whether those relationships are with ourselves, people, or with money, all the relationships are all the relationships, right? So let's get clear with our skin, get clear with how we are showing up and being seen in the world, and then let that translate over into how our money gets to show up and see us and how we get to see our money. Have a fabulous week, and we will talk to you in a few days. Thanks for listening. Make sure to check back each week for the newest content about your body and your wealth. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends and give it a 5-star review. Make sure to visit healinghopewithjamie.com for new offers, retreats, and ways to embody your wealthy life.